Have you ever wondered who truly runs the world? Not the faces you see on screens, not the politicians you vote for. I'm talking about the systems beneath it all, the invisible architecture that decides what rises and what falls. Most people never see it. Some never want to. But here's the strange part. Even when you start to see it, it still controls you. Look close enough and you'll notice patterns. Money flows one way, influence flows another. Yet they always meet at the top. It's not random, it's designed. 1. The architecture of control. Everything you touch, from your phone to your paycheck, runs on systems built decades ago. But these systems were never made to free you. They were made to manage you. The economy teaches you to chase money, while debt keeps you running. Media teaches you what to care about, while distraction keeps you quiet. And the internet, the tool that promised freedom, quietly maps your mind. Each like, each click, each search becomes a thread in the web that knows you better than you know yourself. You feel free because the walls are invisible. That's how the best systems work. They don't need force, they just need your attention. 2. The invisible hand around you. Every choice you make feels like yours, but how many really are? The food you crave, the opinions you hold, even the goals you chase are all carefully shaped by unseen forces. It's not mind control like in the movies, it's quieter. Algorithms whisper what to watch. Trends tell you what to value, and you follow because everyone else does. You wake up, scroll, work, scroll again. Buy what's trending, think what's popular, sleep, repeat. That's not freedom, that's choreography. And when you step out of rhythm, the system reminds you through fear, through pressure, through isolation. 3. The illusion of freedom. We call it choice, but choice without awareness is an illusion. You can pick your phone brand, your job title, your political side, but the system owns the game itself. It decides what options exist. It tells you what's realistic and what's crazy, and so most people never question it. Real power doesn't shout. It shapes reality so quietly that you think it was your own idea. History repeats itself because the same structures stay hidden. Only the faces change. Empires rise, collapse, and rebuild under new names, and the crowd cheers every time, believing this time it's different. But deep down, you feel it's not. 4. Breaking the spell. Awakening begins the moment you stop reacting and start observing. When you stop scrolling for a second and ask yourself, why is this being shown to me? Who gains from my outrage, from my distraction, from my exhaustion? That single question cracks the illusion. It's small at first, like a faint light behind thick glass. But once it appears, it doesn't go away. You start noticing things you never saw before, how news cycles repeat, feeding on fear, how trends rise and die, not by accident but by design, how people are divided over symbols while the system quietly grows stronger behind the noise. And then something inside you changes. You begin to see how much of your life was spent running in circles, chasing approval, chasing comfort, chasing what you were told to want. You realize the system doesn't need to trap you physically, it only needs to shape what you believe is possible. But here's the truth. Once you see the walls, you can't unsee them. Once you understand how control works, you begin to reclaim your power, not by fighting everything, but by choosing differently. You start turning your attention inward. You start building your own rhythm instead of following theirs. You consume less, you create more. You listen more, you react less. And slowly, the invisible threads begin to break. Freedom doesn't arrive in one moment of rebellion. It comes through thousands of quiet decisions to think instead of react, to question instead of obey, to feel instead of numb out. Awareness is the first rebellion. It doesn't require anger or chaos. It only requires truth. Raw, uncomfortable truth. Without it, even the strongest system begins to fade because control cannot exist where people are awake. And that's what they fear the most. Not your strength, not your success, not your voice, but your awareness. Because when enough people start to see the cage, the illusion loses its power. And the moment the illusion breaks, the world begins to shift. So keep your eyes open, keep your mind sharp, and remember you are not powerless. You are simply distracted. Once you see through the noise, you become something the system cannot touch.